Hello and welcome. My name's Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind the Country Chic Cottage. Artesprix recently released, they already made my favorite protective paper for sublimation, and they recently released a longer roll of it. So now it comes in a 60-foot roll. That inspired me to think of ways to store this, because when it was a smaller roll I didn't have to worry about it as much because it was running out more often. Now that it's in a 60-foot roll, I started thinking about storage options in my craft space. I recently redigged my craft space. You can see the DreamBox behind me, and I sort of shared a little bit about what I decided on in that video. However, I came up with some other options along the way that I thought might help you. So let's talk about storing rolls of protective paper. Whether you're using protective paper like this version from Artesprix or the butcher paper rolls, I think you will find a solution in this video that might work for you. Now at the end of this video, I'm also going to cover how to store flat sheets of butcher paper if you like to purchase it cut to size instead of in a roll. I prefer the rolls for my sublimation. I think it stores a little bit easier, plus I can cut it to any length. However, the paper cut to size can be very convenient, so I wanted to include that as well. So I am going to be talking about various ways for this particular roll of protective paper. However, the ways I'm going to talk about can apply to other rolls of protective paper, other brands, butcher paper if it's a similar size, or I do have a solution that I use for my large roll of butcher paper that you might be interested in as well. So let's dive in. First of all, take a look at this roll of protective paper and some very inexpensive options and some more expensive ones. So let's take a look at those inexpensive recycled options first. The first few ideas come from your kitchen. So this is just a regular box of aluminum foil, and this is the protective paper roll from Artesprix. If I was to say use this entire thing of aluminum foil and the box was empty, I'm going to take it out to demonstrate that. So if the box was empty, I could add instead my protective paper roll to this box, then close it up. And now when I pull the protective paper roll out, I can grip it and cut it to length, just like it was aluminum foil. So this is a great option for something you might already have in your kitchen and would be a great option to recycle. Now, something else that I had in my kitchen was this dispenser box right here. So this is from a company called Chic Wrap. You can see it's kitchen themed because I had it in my kitchen. I have quite a few of their products actually, and they do come in a wide variety of finishes. This box is very sturdy, and as you can see, it has a blade that slides, so kind of like a paper cutter. So instead of this recycled option, you could purchase this or something like this. There are several different variations of this on some place like Amazon that holds various kitchen wrap type things. This one was empty, the roll was empty, and so I can just place this inside. And then the way this one works is you close it up and the paper pulls from here. You close this, it's just kind of a little magnetic type deal, and you pull it out however far you want it and just slide to cut. So this is another great option if you want to spend a little bit of money, is to basically look in the kitchen organization area for something that is for your kitchen wraps, but instead use it for your protective paper or your butcher paper rolls. Now, if you are going with butcher paper, you do want to make sure the rolls fit. I do like the protective paper from Artesprix for sublimation, and it does fit well in these options. The larger rolls of butcher paper might not work with these options, but I do have an option for that a little later in this video. And then something that gave me the idea for this video entirely, besides the protective paper from Artesprix coming in longer rolls, was that I found this little box at Hobby Lobby. Now this is only 12 foot in this box. However, I was interested in the packaging more than anything, so I picked it up. So you just open it from the back, and it is basically just like aluminum foil roll or something like that. So it has a serrated edge on the lid. So all you do with it is pull it out, close it, and then rip to size. So it comes already with that serrated edge. Might be a little more expensive, especially since it's only 12 foot, but it is another option. To me, the option of recycling your aluminum foil holder or something similar works just as well, but you can definitely pick this one up as well. And then if you wanted to, you could replace, say after this small 12-foot roll was gone, I could add in the larger roll, and it actually drops right in there, and I could use this paper roll instead. So you could just buy this once if you wanted to, and then buy the larger rolls to put inside. In my new space, I'm using these wall control pegboards, and it has this shelf that has a roll holder already on it. I added the roll of protective paper to the roll holder, and then it goes back behind this area here. Now this is actually meant to hang these little plastic bins on, but there is a gap between this rail and the pegboard. So I ran the protective paper back behind that, and then I can hang these plastic bins in front. And then I just have my scissors hanging over here to the side. Then I can just pull it to whatever size I need, trim with scissors to length. You may have recently seen that I got a DreamBox, and I'm using it for Cricut crafting. However, if you were to get one and use it for sublimation crafting, the rods and the doors are perfect for your sublimation paper roll. So this is the protected paper roll from Artesprix. You can add it to the rod. You can pull out as much as you need, trim it to size with a pair of scissors. Butcher paper often comes in very large rolls, so they're very wide. This wooden holder is sold on Amazon, and you can easily just add your butcher paper roll to a dowel. The dowel slips inside. Then the butcher paper itself, you can put it under a rail in the back, or you don't have to. And all I do is pull it. The rail in the back is intended to help you rip the paper. I find it doesn't work very well. So I just use a pair of scissors and trim off the paper to size. So now that we've talked about the rolls, I did want to include the sheets for just a couple of minutes. So I do have, first of all, the sheets cut to size. I do like the mug size sheet, so this is from pre-cut paper. And then I do keep a few of the Cricut butcher paper sheets. So they do come in a box, but it is a sheet of cut butcher paper. So you could store it in the box if you purchase the Cricut brand. However, if you want to purchase a brand on Amazon that's cut to 12" by 12", it'll come in a stack of sheets. So how do you store those? I used to store them just in my Alex drawers, so IKEA drawers. I used to just store them flat in there or on top of that set of drawers. However, any type of paper organizer, so this is just like a 12 by 12 paper organizer, and it's meant to stand up. However, I find that most of the brands of butcher paper aren't strong enough. These just fell down inside there. So aren't strong enough to like stand up on their own. So instead I like to store them flat. So any type of paper organizer that would fit the size of sheets that you have, that you can store flat, would work. So there are different paper organizers or stackable paper trays. Anything basically for probably a cardstock type situation would work for your butcher paper sheets, regardless of size. So I also stick things like this in something like this as well as a general rule. So that is the solution that I've used for the cut sheets. I don't find those as challenging to store because there are things made for 12 by 12 paper, whereas rolls of material that you want to pull off and cut, you might find it challenging to store those. So hopefully this helped you with a few ideas for storing your protective paper and butcher paper in your crafting space and for your crafting needs. Now, which of these do I use? So I showed you the pegboard that I ended up with. So the wall control pegboard, and that's over buying my heat presses. I will probably use something like this sheet wrap organizer. That's the reason I was kind of going through this for my filming space here. So when I'm filming videos for you, I'm generally working on this space with like an easy press a lot of times. So if I'm working with my easy press in this space, filming videos with the camera from up there, then I would probably use something like this sheet wrap organizer. I may look for a different pattern that's not kitchen-y, but I did want to note that basically any type of organizer that is for aluminum foil, plastic wrap, parchment paper, things that are in your kitchen will work for these protective paper rolls as well. So it makes it super convenient. The only thing that I want to note, so I used a lot of organizers, a couple different ones here that used a rod that went through the center of this protective paper roll. Now the roll from Artesprix has a cardboard tube on the inside, so it makes it super convenient for using those types of organizers. However, I ran into some, so I experimented with a few like paper towel roll organizers. Some of those were too large to fit inside of this roll. So watch out for the size or diameter of the rod if you're going to get something like a paper towel roll organizer and just try to slip this on so that you can unroll it. You would want to be aware of the size of the rod that those are made out of in comparison with the size of the inside of this roll. That's the only thing I would caution you on, because one of the methods that I experimented with failed because it would not fit inside of this roll. So hopefully that helps you, gives you some ideas for organizing your protective paper and utilizing it for your sublimation. Whether you have an easy press or a heat press, I think you can use these methods. And I love that one of them is recycled, so completely 100% free. Take that aluminum foil box or whatever box and decorate it, paint it, add some scrapbook paper to the outside, and all of a sudden you have a great organizer for your protective paper. So if this video helped you, give us a thumbs up. If you have any questions about organizing sublimation supplies in general, ask them in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.